Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to have this opportunity to participate in the second International Forum on Democracy. Allow me first of all to thank the China International Communications Group for extending this kind invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, as we emerge from the global pandemic, we are witnessing rising geopolitical tensions, a war in the Ukraine, and so many stories around the world of political instability and political conflicts. That is why I think it's appropriate for the forum to provide space where we can share our views and ideas about what democracy is and how we might move forward. But whatever interpretations and meanings people are using as far as democracy is concerned and generating all this lively debate, I believe that most people still agree that democracy is still the best form of government, or as others may have put it, the least worst form of government and a desirable one. Let me offer my view. I think democracy is based on the belief that all of us, each individual, has basic rights and dignity, so that we should be able to determine the future of ourselves and our society or country. Democracy needs to be supported by a series of institutions as well as the appropriate political culture. As far as political behavior or culture is concerned, there is need for tolerance so that people with differing views can coexist with each other peacefully and get things done. But viewed against this ideal, it must be said that very, very few countries, if any, can call themselves truly democratic. Even in the West, where many countries have boasted that they have had long established democracies, they're also struggling with a number of challenges. In many countries, the issue of money politics and corruption has eroded faith in government and democracy, where the rich and wealthy can wield influence over policies, often at times at the expense of the majority of people. There continues to be the problem of rising inequality as a result of that, which leads to further conflict in society and in politics. In many of these countries, there is still discrimination in various forms. And as far as political dialogue is concerned, in many of these countries, politics has become even more extreme and polarized and often lead to gridlock where nothing ever gets done. All this has raised the question whether these governments are still truly for the people, and it's been reflected by the declining trust that people have in political institutions. But if this is true, even with long-established democracies, you can imagine that in many developing and emerging countries, where they have tried to democratize, often by transplanting a system that they think is democratic into their own countries, they find that they do not end up with a true democracy either. They may have a constitution, they may have elections and political parties in what looks like a democratic form, but often also end up with governments that are not truly democratic and cannot deliver or actually achieve the public interest. My point is, no country in the world can call itself truly democratic. What each of us has to do is to make sure that every country gets its house in order by tackling at the limitations that they have or restrictions that they have that have not yet made them truly democratic. And they must do so by taking into account their own unique cultural and historical environment. That is not to say that international organizations or the international community has no role, but it has to be a constructive one, rather than using democracy as the dividing line, pitting one group of countries against another. What we should do is to come up with democratic standards and ideals that are agreed upon multilaterally and allow these international organizations to play a constructive role in encouraging all the countries to attain such ideals. For me, this is the most realistic and effective way forward in trying to help democratization in the world. Of course, there may be different views, there may be other opinions to what I've expressed, and this forum should provide that space where these views can be exchanged and shared. I wish the forum every success in our discussions so that we find a path forward for democracy in the world for the benefit of all our citizens. Thank you.